Hi everyone, and welcome to our first post for StyleShoots Q&A session today. I'm here together with Jeroen, the co-founder of Bright River and one of the driving forces behind the post for StyleShoots solution. So hi Jeroen, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So what are we going to talk about today? We'll actually cover what the post for StyleShoots solution is and what it does, how it works, of course, what its benefits are, who it's for, and also why the combination of post and StyleShoots is so powerful. Of course, there will also be time for your questions at the end of this session. Just a quick reminder, if you ask questions, please make sure that everyone can see them, so the host and the audience, so then we can answer them in the end. Sorry, also, I have a little cold, so if I lose my voice, I apologize in advance. Yeah, and with that, Jeroen, let's get started. Could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Annabelle, for the nice introduction. So my name is Jeroen Gerritsen. I am currently responsible for large clients. I'm a client service director at Bright River. I'm also a co-founder of the company. The first 10 years, I was responsible for the operations. So I know a lot about Photoshop and Photoshop teams and Photoshop editing from my experience. And the last 5 years, I've moved more towards innovation and servicing clients directly. And from that perspective, we started developing this service post.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. That's a great introduction. So yeah, speaking of innovations, could you tell us about what Post for StyleShoots is and what it does?
Yes, well, basically the idea is really simple. So it's two images, one image of a model and one image of a garment, and you combine the two images to make it look like the model is actually wearing the garment or the item. So the idea is really simple, but to do that in a way that it looks good or it converts, if you could stay in the e-commerce terms, that is actually something that you need some experience with. Mm-hmm. So basically, we've started developing this service within editing maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And what we found is that if you abide by particular rules, then you can create really good-looking images. Maybe some of the people have already seen it, but the images that we use in, of course, the marketing material are created this way. And so there's a lot of editing in the image. There's a lot of smart editing, so a lot of automation in the editing that we've developed to make sure that the images look as natural as possible. Mm-hmm. And combining it with StyleShoots was a very logical step, because what we need is, as input, is consistent, high quality images. Mm-hmm. And both StyleShoots Live, which should be used for creating the models, and the StyleShoots Vertical obviously can create very consistent imagery, mm-hmm. Which is the foundation of our post solution.
Great, thank you. So you already just touched upon the basics from the model image up to the ready-made final retouched image. Could you maybe talk a bit more about the process, the whole process behind Post for StyleShoots?
Yes. Actually, there's two processes. The first process is that we create with each customer a basic model library. Mm-hmm. And to do that, there is some refinement needed. So you do need to know which poses can or cannot be done or cannot be used. Mm-hmm. And you need to have a particular lighting setting and a particular distance to the camera and all kinds of specifics. But in the end, that will create a basic model library, and from that moment onwards, the real process or the day-to-day process can start. Mm-hmm. And the day-to-day process is that an item is shot in the StyleShoots vertical. From the StyleShoots vertical, the item is directly uploaded to Stream, which is our workflow engine, so the Bright River workflow engine. And then in Stream, the image of the item and the image of the model is combined. Mm-hmm. And the image editor then receives the images, which is, let's say, 50% or 75% finished already. And then the manual image editor refines the image to make sure it looks perfect. And when that is done, the image is returned to Stream by the image editor, and Stream then notifies the customer that the image is ready. And obviously, I'm now speaking about images, but you could also do that in groups of images.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Understood. Yeah. So with regards to the basic model library, so you also you work with real models, right? Not with like animations. So that also, of course, makes it look really natural and realistic.
Yeah. So we have a lot of experience with testing a lot of different alternatives, but what we found was that working with real models just gives the best look, just makes it the most natural. And what we also found is that each customer has a very specific requirement with regards to the models, right? So if you want a plus size model and if you have plus size mannequins, then that is possible. If you want children with children mannequins, then that is of course also possible. But generally, the taste of clients goes further than that, right? Is it a dark model or a blonde model? Is she skinny or not so skinny? All kinds of specifics that are very that make it impossible actually to make a model library prior to talking to the client. Right? Yeah, we need the client's input to create that library.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's nice that you highlight again that you actually do that in collaboration with the client. So that's I already see that as a big benefit, that you have so much flexibility in choosing your models, and also like in the poses, of course. With regards to benefits, could you maybe elaborate on other benefits those the whole solution brings the clients?
Yeah, so it depends a little bit which angle you take. So we service multiple clients, and multiple clients have different benefits they take from it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the first benefit, most obvious benefit, would probably be that it's cost saving, right? That you do not have to hire the model every day of the month to make the shoot, but you can only hire the model for one day. Mm-hmm. Create the basic model shoots, and then from that moment onwards, process the images. Mm-hmm. But that is, I think, relatively obvious. What is less obvious of an advantage is that if you look at the total time warehouse to web time, mm-hmm. This decreases the warehouse to web time significantly, because the only thing you need to do as a client is make the image of the garment. And then what we can do is, with that image of the garment, we can create the full carousel that is needed to go online. So after you've shot and uploaded the image, 24 hours later, you will have all images required to put that image online.
Wow. One day.
And yeah, one day. So there's also examples that I can dive into that it was 8 hours, but in this specific case, it is one day. Wow. And overall, it just decreases the warehouse to web time tremendously. And another advantage from one of our clients is that it's just logistically so much less complex. With the StyleShoots, you only need a stylist, mm-hmm. And you do not need a photographer with the StyleShoots. So you need the stylist with the StyleShoots, and then you only need to revitalize the item once, because it's revitalized before you put it on in the StyleShoots vertical, mm-hmm. and then the item can go back, right? It's done. You do not need to do anything else anymore.
What exactly do you mean with revitalizing? I'm not sure that everyone understands.
So just the ironing of the shirt so that it's good enough to be used on a mannequin in the StyleShoots vertical.
Making it look neat, sort of.
Yeah, making it look fresh and neat. Yeah,
great.
Because normally when it comes out of the box, there's all kinds of creases and stuff like that. Yeah.
You also already briefly touched upon the consistency aspect between vertical and live. I think that's also one of the biggest benefits, right? And with regards to this collaboration.
Yeah. So there is, when we talk about consistency, there is different, basically 2 or 3 different levels of consistency. When people create a basic model library, sometimes they want to update that basic model library after a period of 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And then to find the exact settings that you've used 6 months ago or 3 months ago, I think that is only possible with the StyleShoots Live. There is no, without the use of a photographer, without the knowledge of a photographer, to find the exact same settings is only possible with the StyleShoots Live. And then, well, with garments, it's actually the same. We have clients that produce on multiple continents, and you can just share the different lighting settings of different verticals, and then make sure that they're all the same across all the verticals, but also all the time. So if you decide to use the verticals for a different purpose, you can do that, and then 2 months later you return to this process, and you can then have the exact same output.
Exactly, yeah. The presets on live and vertical, those are super helpful for that, of course.
Yeah, which is very determining in how the image will eventually look, because it's not hard to make one image look good. It is only hard to make thousands of images look good, right? That's our challenge.
Of course. Okay, with regards to looking good, of course, you already said that making the output look realistic is also heavily based on the light settings, and of course using a real model. Maybe you could explain a bit more why, or like how you make this output, you make sure that this output looks realistic in the end.
Yeah, well, so throughout the years of experience, we found a lot of things, specific things to tweak to make it look better. So we have a lot of experience in the editing part of it. But what we, for instance, found is that the item has a particular size. It's shot on the mannequin, and that exact same size needs to be translated to the on-model image. So using StyleShoots technology, we know exactly the size of the item, so we can determine in centimeters exactly how long a particular coat is. And of course, we already know how tall the real model was. So by doing so, we can make sure that the item fits exactly as it should fit. And well, that's of course very important in lowering returns eventually, right? Sure. You shouldn't have an oversized jacket sold as a tight fit jacket. But that's just one of the examples. So we use technology to do that. A lot of let's say background scripting and Photoshop automation is taking place before we actually use human eyes to do the QC and to do the final touch up of each image. But again, it all starts with very high quality and highly detailed and very consistent color, which is created by the StyleShoots.
Great. Yeah, you also said there's like an actual human also in the end, of course, quality checking everything to make sure that the customer receives like the 100% perfect image to upload to their online shop. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and we do a lot of quality checks with computers already. Of course, we use computer vision and stuff like that, but the final touch-up is always done by human eyes.
Perfect. Yeah. That's of course very trustworthy and reliable then.
Yeah, and that's what we try to be. Yeah.
Of course. How do you see the collaboration between Post and StyleShoots? So what do you think makes it so powerful with this regard as well?
Well, So we have a lot of experience with testing with this, and what we found is that, well, the number one reason is that the quality of the images needs to be high. We need to have a lot of pixels to see what is wrong or to make things look more natural.
Yeah.
The second thing is that it needs to be consistent, which I've already mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But also we have worked with StyleShoots now a couple of years. We have built an integration on the new platform, and that integration enables customers from StyleShoots to directly upload from the StyleShoots to our backend to Stream, which reduces again the time to web.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you upload only at the end of the day, then you've lost 8 hours with the first image you shot that day. And if you can upload directly from the StyleShoots, you win 8 hours. And that, I think, is crucial for some of our clients. For some clients, it doesn't really matter, but for some clients, that part is crucial.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general we already talked a lot about the ins and outs of the solution. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners are now curious how to get started with Post. Actually, what would the first step be to take to benefit from Post for StyleShoots?
Well, so the first step is to go and subscribe to a demo. So fill in the form and request a demo. Mm-hmm. Obviously, what we do need is a particular volume. So if you have 50 items per year, then I think it's just more interesting to hire the model and have her wear the items. So there needs to be a particular volume, and well, that volume starts at, let's say, 25 SKUs a day, something like that.
Yeah.
And from that starting point, I think this becomes a very attractive solution, either to decrease costs or to increase or decrease the time to web, mm-hmm. or if it's just necessary to decrease the logistical complexity, this is also, I think, very useful.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you. Yeah, just to talk a bit more about the demos. All of our demos are free, no strings attached, and they're really personalized to your business goals and needs to really find the solution tailored to your targets. So if you would like to book a demo, you receive an email after the session with all the information. So don't worry, you'll get it all summarized there. And yeah, with that, I want to thank you, Jeroen, as well, for taking the time to talk to me now. Those were the topics we wanted to discuss today. And now, of course, it's time to dig into your questions and answer everything that still needs to be answered, of course. So again, just a quick reminder, if you didn't already ask your question, please make sure you make them available for everyone to see, for the host and the audience, so that we can answer everything now. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you too.